There is no one with a straight face and who is honest with themselves, who can lay their head on a pillow at night and sleep comfortably, who can say this is definitively a suicide.
The Los Angeles Police Department confirming actor Lee Thompson Young was found dead in Los Angeles just a couple of hours ago. The cause of death not clear at this time.
Free after being locked behind bars for no reason and being set up. I can't dedicate another 90 days of being monitored all my life. I don't need that crap like other people. It's a slap in the face to people that actually...
The truth about Lee Thompson Young's shady death is finally out, after Orlando Brown went on an explosive tell-all rant to expose the hell out of Disney for their alleged involvement. You see, at the time of Lee's tragic passing, it was concluded that he took his own life. But up until this day, all evidence seems to point to him being unalived. He didn't leave a note. He had no addiction issues. He had no financial problems. His career was still going strong. His bipolar diagnosis was in check, and he had been spending time with family. There was literally zero motive for him to off himself. But his handlers worked overtime to convince us he was some isolated substance addict that just took his own life on a random Monday. Even his family wasn't buying it. And from the looks of it, they were right not to. Orlando might tell a joke, but he never tells a lie. And baby, he has a lot to say about how Lee really died. Okay, so as most of y'all know, Lee was one of Disney's biggest actors after his breakout role in the TV show, The Famous Jet Jackson. Right after this, his career also went up, and he kept getting bigger, like him landing the role of Detective Barry Frost on Rizzoli and Isles. But under all that fame and money, he was silently struggling with bipolar, and the public didn't even get to know about it until after he died. That's how well he was handling it. He wasn't some out-of-control, erratic person. This man was taking his meds, spending time with family, and showing up for work like he was supposed to. That was until August 17th, 2013, when it was reported that he had supposedly taken his own life. According to reports, he was last heard from at 2:30 p.m. when he had a conversation with a friend after failing to show up for work at a movie set. As I said, this was very unlike him. So friends requested that authorities make a welfare check, and that's when they found his lifeless body in his apartment. He had died from a gunshot to the right temple. Now, immediately this hit the news, people had a lot of questions. There was no note left, and he had no illicit substances in his system either. Mind you, this man had a diary in which he wrote absolutely everything in, but not a single page of this diary mentioned anything about him wanting to off himself or even struggling with his mental health. Even if he didn't leave a note, he would at the very least say something in his diary, but there was nothing. Right out the gate, the whole, "Oh, he just woke up and took his life" excuse was beginning to look like a load of BS to cover up something else. They even looked in his computer to search if there were any clues in there, and that also turned up negative. A law enforcement source told the New York Daily News that the suicide is still a mystery. Evidently, he was a clean-cut kid who didn't use alcohol and had no reported problem. He was the opposite. Lee loved to travel and was always the first to tell everyone to take a breath and enjoy the beauty of life. And get this, it was also revealed that just months before his death, he had traveled to a Yoruba village with his mother and attended a beautiful ceremony. A friend said he had a great support group. He was very close to his mother and sister, had a local priest, and lots of good friends who were like family, including the Rizzoli cast. The police tried to give the excuse that he offed himself because he was struggling alone, but this info completely blows off that narrative. He wasn't isolated. He wasn't alone. By all accounts, he was spiritually grounded, professionally successful, and surrounded by people who loved him. And then he just off himself on a random Monday right before he's supposed to leave for work? And guess what Disney's reaction was to his death? Or let me say the lack thereof. At the time of his death, a spokesman from Disney Channel did issue an official statement, but people felt that wasn't nearly enough. Those who grew up with Lee as one of the very first stars of the Disney Channel believed that the founding member deserved far more respect. Now, Orlando actually had a lot to say. You see, just like Lee, Orlando was also one of the most successful Black young actors at the time at Disney. He rose to fame with his role as Eddie Thomas in That's So Raven, which ran from 2003 to 2007 with 99 episodes. He also starred in Max Keeble's Big Move and appeared in The Proud Family and Fillmore. According to reports, Orlando made around $20,000 per episode for his role on the show. But right around the time That's So Raven was ending, Orlando's downfall began. He was first arrested in 2007 for substance possession, and to make matters worse, he left Disney completely to focus on a music career. But as we know now, that didn't go anywhere. He was arrested in 2011 for allegedly driving under the influence and ended up serving jail time after failing to complete court-ordered alcohol education classes. Oh, but it didn't end there. It's like once he left Disney, they were doing everything they could to ruin his life. Every single arrest was highly publicized to hurt his image, so he would have a harder time booking jobs, which only made him spiral even more. And unfortunately for him, he was actually making it very easy for Disney to do this to him. Things got so bad that Dr. Phil invited him for an intervention, and even then, Orlando appeared for the interview high as a kite.
It's very clear to me that some of your thinking is confused, and I think that you need some treatment for that will unravel that, and I think in a very short time you can get back to being the Orlando that has been so successful in your life. And I know that even with some of that confusing and racing thoughts, that somewhere in there, you know what I'm saying is right. And somewhere in there, you know that I'm offering to help you, and you should take that help.
I'm 4 years sober for a reason. I just now got out of rehab. I just now got out of ER. I'm not doing no more time away from my kids.
And aside from Disney allegedly having a hand in this so-called intervention, they actually pulled major strings to erase Orlando from their history, even though he went through the things he experienced because of his time with them. In fact, during a 2022 interview with Tasha K, Orlando made claims about people selling their souls to become famous and gaining eternal life. People believe this was in reference to Lee. Apparently, Disney tried to trap Lee into an Illuminati contract so he wouldn't leave, but he turned it down for obvious reasons, and that's why his life was taken. By him turning it down, he was basically saying no to the external life they were offering. And in Hollywood, when you turn down these demonic offers, you either end up blacklisted like Orlando or unalived like Lee.
In this industry, what you must understand is, when you do sell your soul, you are allowed to live forever. And these people that are called youngins, like I was, had no idea that these people still live. They will prey, haunt, kidnap, anything to stay on top. This is their world. They have nothing but time, is what they believe. The art of exchanging spirits, trading spirits.
And then when they do die, they can move their consciousness from their decaying body, from their dead body, to a new clone of themselves. They can basically they can harness and control and transport the informational bundle that is a soul from one piece of hardware to another, or wetware to another. They know how to do this, and this is why, like, in all the human myths about Apollo and Aphrodite and whatever, Zeus himself, these gods seem like they live forever. They always look the same, and whereas humans are, being born and dying generation after generation, these Nordics these gods always look the same, because first of all, their lifespans are thousands of our years per body, and then also they can move their consciousness into clones of themselves. So yeah, it's exactly as you describe it. It was done a very long time ago. And these are the people who manage us.
And people still have their suspicions to this day. And it doesn't help that Orlando never even bothered to clear it up. The only reason they had to take out Lee is that, unlike Orlando, he didn't have any substance use issues, so they couldn't destroy him with it. The only option was to get rid of him. One person said, "Always felt he was ritually unalived, and S-Side was just another cover story. The misleading diagnosis was to serve as a palatable and believable excuse for him to be later sacrificed without question. If people thought he was bipolar and unstable, then on paper, S-Side is a more than reasonable story. These demons in Hollywood think far ahead than the average person can comprehend. I remember him on Disney and Nickelodeon channels growing up. Long live Lee Thompson Young. Another person said, I do not believe he did this to himself. I won't go further. But now, I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about the allegations going around that Lee was taken out? And do you really think this was one big ritualistic sacrifice? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.